Yep, we are recording. I see the file. Uh, this is Going Medieval. Still in early access. Cues provided by Tinsley PR. Um, I got nothing. I mean, this has not been that busy a week for news, which I am thankful for. But it also means then that I don't have much to talk about. Um, just trying to think. I know I'd seen some rumor stuff concerning, like AMD's next line GPUs, which I guess I can rant and ramble on that. Just part of it was just the repetition of something we'd seen a while ago that the 8000 series might be more mid-range targeting, as opposed to trying to be uh, competitive at the top end. So essentially what the RX 5000 series was, where it topped off at the 5700 XT. So that class of performance, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that level of performance. As I said last week, I think I did say it last week, I think there's a part of me that does believe, basically in a conspiracy, that the reason we have ray tracing was just justify having several $100, even $1,000 graphics cards, because normal rasterization is achievable by basically every mid-range item. Although it does also seem like, when I see some stuff talking about new games, modern games, that no one is bothering with optimizing anymore, such that things do just break. That I'll bring up like Just Cause 3, I'll bring up The Witcher 3 at times, where it's like these are both 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. So closer to a decade old than not. They look very good and they run very, very well, especially Just Cause 3. That thing runs very well. And yet, we've got games that, yeah, in some ways are more visually impressive, but it's like, a way I can think to put it is, if we treat Just Cause 3, The Witcher 3 at, say, 90 to 95% good, like perfect graphics, it's like, okay, how much performance are we losing for that final? Well, it's not even like the final 5 to 10%. It's only going to be, in some ways, like 2 or 3% more. 2 or 3% better, higher fidelity, higher realism to the graphics that we're realistically getting from some of these newer games. And we're seeing performance that craters compared to them. I mean, it's like, if I put Just Cause 3 on this computer, I mean, right now we're going at about 30 FPS, which, to be fair, there's a fair amount going on. We've got the different things that are AI, that are being driven by AI, so that's CPU. We've got the trees here, that those are each a separate object. I mean, in theory, this would be a game that if they put it to Vulkan or DirectX 12, I'm pretty sure it's DirectX 11. I'll actually look that up. But if we put it to like DirectX 12 with mesh shaders, this could be a lot more efficient. I can understand no one ever doing that for this game. But here, PC Gaming Wiki should have that kind of information. It's Unity 2020. I'm not sure what Unity supports. Yeah, it's only video card for minimum, just as DirectX 11 compatible. Oh, yeah, here it is. Technical specs. Yeah, DirectX 11. But it is legitimately, like, the mesh shader stuff. What was it? I'm trying to remember the name of, the more specific name for it. But 3D Mark has a tech demo kind of thing in there, that shows off the mesh shaders and how they had one object that was like thousands or millions of vertices to it, but they then multiplied it by thousands. But because of how mesh shaders work, where it would basically take the same asset and put it in multiple places, and also it would do the culling. So because some were being blocked, being occluded, you didn't need to bother with, if it is, let's say, 1 million vertices, but it's behind another object, such that there's only 1% of the vertices that are visible, then that means that 1% of 1 million is 10,000. So that would mean that 990,000 are just not being computed because they're being culled very early. So that would see performance go from like 60 FPS to like 300, 400, even 500 FPS. So it's like, yeah, this is a game that actually could benefit from that. But it's also here. If I move over here, yeah, the FPS is up to a little bit above 60. And actually, hang on, gotta do this. Okay, no, it is because I have Radeon Chill enabled that, and I have the low level, that being 65. But yeah, so over here it is like at 65. Coming over here, and I'll bet it's mostly the trees. It's now down to 45. So if I do this, okay, so this is at 50 right now, and if I just do this, yep, up to 65. It's because this is complex. Each one of these has to be rendered individually, which is hitting CPU and GPU. Anyway, I guess a way to put that, as far as my whole comment about how we're not seeing optimization like we used to, is something like that mesh shader setup isn't easy. I'm like, this is an indie game, so I absolutely grant the whole, yeah, this is not a game you would see that done in. Absolutely, I grant that. Although, at the same time, though, mesh shaders are a few years old at this point. So it's not like... And technically, they're older than that, because in some ways, AMD's primitive shaders, is that what they called it? I think that's right. In some ways, that's the same technology. NVIDIA then came up with their version that they named mesh shaders, and that's what ended up sticking. But yeah, I mean, that's just how that is. But no, I mean, legitimately though, it is funny if you look that up with the primitive shaders, which go back to Vega. At least I'm pretty sure that's what AMD had called them. What they were discussing there is exactly what mesh shaders are. Mesh shaders are a bit more advanced, but it is also, if we assume that the release dates of the technologies do also suggest when they started the work, then that would mean then that NVIDIA started its work on mesh shaders after, and so would have had potentially heard rumors out of AMD, or I'm not I can believe that they started working on mesh shaders before. Well, no, AMD may still have announced or teased some of the primitive shader stuff, such that NVIDIA can be like, oh, that's a really neat idea, we'll put our engineers on that. And then it's like, okay, well, they're already doing some stuff, they've said some stuff in press materials, let's try to imagine what a version 2 of that would be. Since we're starting fresh, we can make it more advanced. So I could see that having been something that happened. And then, of course, Microsoft decided to endorse mesh shaders, so that became a thing instead of primitive shaders. So, you know, it's kind of like how tessellation, same story. It had a different name when AMD first came up with it, but that was... I'm just trying to remember the exact order of these things. Ah, man, it's hard because it's other technologies. AMD has had multiple technologies that they created first. They weren't adopted. And then NVIDIA came up with their variants, and then that was adopted. So we know the names for it from NVIDIA. And people also associate the creation with NVIDIA, even though that's not completely true. It's not untrue, but it's not completely true. And things like that. Because tessellation's like that. There was technology. That's right. There was a precursor to tessellation in DirectX 10.1. DirectX 10.1 failed for multiple reasons. But AMD developed had hardware that worked with it. That would have been the HD 3000 and 4000 series. That's how old that is. The HD 3000, 4000. So we're talking over 10 years old. But it didn't catch on. I don't remember how exposed it was in some things. Because that's one thing that AMD has also done that is a problem. That they would expose things for, like, OpenGL shaders, not necessarily DirectX. Like, they, for whatever reason, wouldn't get... Either they couldn't get Microsoft to work with them, or they just didn't work with Microsoft. I don't know, but one way or the other, it hurt them. But then it was at the HD 5000 series when we finally had DirectX 11 come out. And that's also when NVIDIA had its Fermi series, the GTX 400 and 500 series. And that's when you really saw tessellation, DirectX 11 tessellation be there. And it's like, oh, look at how amazing Fermi is. Which is also kind of funny, because I remember in Metro Exodus when I was messing with tessellation there, it's like places where, it's being used. I turned it on and off. You could barely see the difference. And the performance wasn't that much either. It's like tessellation has become so cheap. It's kind of funny. Okay, good. They are working on this. And I know I need to work on stuff. I mean, it would be nice to like build out larger ones of these, but I don't know what is it they want. Because it's large restitutionist shrine. There's no definition of what that is here. Yeah, and it's like this. What does that mean? I mean, I'm sorry, I need to say it again, and I'll have to keep saying it again and again. This game, they need to hold up some on future development and just sit down and work through everything, because it's... There's a concept in education that I don't think is used much anymore. It was actually used when I was in elementary school. It's called spiraling. And I'm not sure. Maybe that's what some of the... I don't remember the name of it. But there's certain development techniques that maybe it's the same thing. But anyway, with spiraling, part of the idea was, even if a child, like in math, even if a student is struggling with something, it doesn't matter. You keep moving. You don't wait for everyone to get to the same level. And part of the reason why is because with the spiral, you're going to come back to it, but at a higher level. So it's like you've done something else, and now you come back to it, and you're covering it again, and now you're having to cover both basics that you touched on before and something new. And doing that may work to get the child to advance without having to just focus down and potentially delay advancing. So I guess a way to put it would be, imagine you've got a student who is struggling with basic multiplication, like just single-digit multiplication table stuff. It's like, okay, that's fine. They're struggling, but it's time to move on to the next section, so you move on to that. But then, you go into the next section, and then when you come back, and now you're doing double-digit multiplication. Now, you might think that, that one student that struggled with single-digit, he's going to struggle here. Maybe he will, but at the same time, he's had a break, so his mind has settled, so if he was just overwhelmed by the multiplication, now he's done other things that potentially it's reset, he's no longer overwhelmed. But it's also, now he's seeing the same principles of single-digit multiplication being applied in another way. And that alone can also help with having things click. Where it's like, now I see what we're working towards. And it's like once you have that a better higher goal in mind, it can be much easier to reach there with the simpler things that maybe you'd struggled with before. So the whole walk. Sometimes you got to run before you walk. Sometimes you have to have that harder thing in front of you in order to achieve the simpler things. And maybe that's what they need to do here, where it's like, they've introduced things such as a large restitutionist shrine, but they don't document what that is in here, so they come back and do that. Fix up this crap. Because, it's also, what happens if you get enough people that's like all the way down there? This is insanity. It's also, why would you even bother with copying? Legitimately, it doesn't make any sense to do that, because people have different skills. There is no reason to copy and paste any of these. Copy and paste Steward, Hall, is like some of the basic stuff. That makes sense. That you'd want to do that, but I don't want to copy research or alchemy. There's no reason to do that. And does that also remind me? Let's actually unpause. Oh, okay, I think they are unpause. It's such a low priority. Okay. Okay. All right. And also schedule they could improve as well, like having what is dawn, what is dusk marked on here is entirely reasonable, especially since you do have. Hang on. Okay. So I mean, it's just that there's an actual meaning to Snow White. Just yeah. So I was just curious if that's kind of it. Not quite. The heck? That's a problem. The heck? You can't scroll here. That okay. Here, Sunseeker comes alive when the sun is shining. But it's like, that would, because you have a perk here, it makes sense that you would need to have it. And also, it doesn't even document what this actually means. Comes alive when the sun is shining. So would that be then, like, when the sun is out, you get plus 10% on whatever? It's like, their documentation in-game is crap. So it would be good if they were to... Here, early bird. Welsh is getting it to work at daybreak. What is daybreak? That's not documented. And it's like, I'm just trying to think of the best way to put it. Because like, I know I'm being kind of an asshole about this. I know that. I understand that. But it still is... This game has been in... Here, let me open that back up. Let me open it back. Can I... Thought they would keep the date. I'm trying to figure out when it first. That's not what. That's when it first came out. Oh, here it is. Yeah, game entered early access on June 1st, 2021. So we're talking about a game over 3 years old, and is older because I got to do the preview before that, which was one season, but it still is. At least there was something playable then, but still over 3 years old, right? I'm allowed to be an asshole about this. Because this isn't it's out. This is it's in early access. So there's still active development. It's not like it's out, so you're only getting patches. And yet, their documentation is crap. You've got the whole, what is a large restitutionist shrine that it references? What is, it must be something to do with the rolls. That's what breaks it. Anyway, but it's like, that doesn't tell us anything. It's like, okay, you like the sun. Lots of people do. That doesn't... Oh, yeah, early bird. I mean, it's like... I guess it really is just the sunshine thing, Sunseeker, that's really based on... I mean, still, that the early bird does imply that he would prefer just working through, getting up early and then going on. But it's like, I don't know what that translates to here. So why don't you give that here? I had also mentioned before the ability to say, hey, turn all the lights on in this room. Hey, turn them all off in this room. Having that be per room instead of per item. Better documentation that you need something underneath the door. You need structure, like there's kind of walls underneath doors for them to, so things can't just go in underneath them. Man, that was annoying. the ability to have people focus a bit better on certain tasks. Like assigning people to, no, you do this. I don't care what your other things are here. Like, you have crafting. It's like, okay, you do crafting. Well, there's all this stuff here that can be crafting. But it's like, no, I want you to focus on this. You do this. Training. So you're not just having to do this, then undo it. Do this, then undo this. It's like, there are various things that could be improved here, and it's been 3 years since the game came out. Yes, a lot of this is new, but it's also, we can do this. Why are we not? All right. I'm just trying to think if there's anything. It would be kind of nice. Oh, well, I guess I can do that. I mean, it's totally unnecessary. You could also do a better job with this. So it's like, okay, I can view this, but look, I'm losing visibility on the walls because of that. But anyway, yeah, it's, that. Yeah, I mean, it's like there is a lot of stuff here that can be overhauled. There's also, I haven't even, this stuff. The whole better sorting here and filtering. So everything's set for that. Battle is kind of irrelevant. And it's also, I feel like mentioning, I've spent a fair amount of time this week, working with the developer to completely change a system in the software that my company's been working on for years. And this has been implemented. The way we've been doing something has been implemented this way for years. And it's like, we're completely overhauling it. Because it's going to allow us new features, certain new stability stuff, and new capabilities. I mean, it's going to be worth it and even necessary for what will happen in the future. Don't think there's anyone else. See, it should also, it should sort by animals here. What is this order anyway? But it should give you more information as well. But here we, oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. See, it changed what was being sacrificed down the back. So that's going to be less successful, but see, I mean, they absolutely should be giving you this information then in there. Blake and the 2 arbiters. We can do that. Oh, I can only sacrifice 1? I didn't realize that. I thought I could sacrifice more than 1. Well, it still is. I'd rather sacrifice the chickens that I got lots of. Maybe a sheep instead. Okay, so there's Isamir and Irinu? Yeah, that's like a really old one, so that actually would work very nicely. Because he's probably going to die of old age anyway, so there. Yeah, I didn't realize you could only sacrifice one animal there. Yeah, no one is deprived of religion. See, that's another thing that they could also definitely help with. It's like they have complete access to to the religious activities. Complete access to it. It really shouldn't be a thing that they can complain about that, though. Really shouldn't. It's like, if I didn't have this, that's one thing. That is not the case. Yeah, I think it can be good. Because, I mean, in theory, I want them focused on food since we're in autumn, so we want to make sure that things are ready to eat. You know what? That just, well, it's over there. But I do also want to make sure that that things are refueled. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it does seem like this is I have to just wait. 'Cause I don't know what else there is for me to do. Um, yeah. That was interesting. Settlers are suffering from the cold. Okay, so they are getting cold within their rooms. So we'll just turn that on, which will help. The heck was I just hearing built? There. So now everyone will that, and we can also close all those. Further help with warming things up. Although I think I can probably do this low. That's fine, he can. He can leave it. It should also about here. There's one. So the other one will go right there. Are there any other buildings I haven't really done? Down in front, we got a great hall. I don't want shared chambers, I want individual. Temple and chapel I both have. Library I have. Workshop I have. Kitchen I have. Okay. Honestly, I don't know how much that matters. Really don't. I mean, it's just, I'm kind of running out of things to do because I don't, short of like trying to build some really fancy buildings, but to what end? I was like, yeah, I could try building up large, but I don't know what that means. And I don't want to just look that up. All right, I'm going to be stubborn on that one. Because like, there's actually an in-game reason to do that. So it's like, I need the explanation for what it is I'm supposed to do to be in-game. I'm going to be stubborn on that. And I could try building up something more with that. I could, could try setting up another settlement somewhere. I just don't know to what end. Could keep building this up. Okay, I forgot about that. Oh, I didn't even realize I wasn't paused for the... Well, I mean, it doesn't matter, but... Well... Yep. And we don't have it around there, which is fine. Yeah. I don't know if I'll move the deer over there or not, but in theory I could. I did not realize I don't have these set correctly. Okay, that was her building the mechanical components. Oh, that's what they mean. I'm expecting buildings, not specific elements. So let's hit that. I need to work on gold. I think I have. Material, raw. Yeah, I've got gold. I've just not been processing. Oh, no, it's right here. I've got more iron. So that might be it. Alright then, let's do that. You work on iron as a priority. Iron, silver, gold. That will also be iron and silver. So once this gets built, it will be focus on gold. What do you do? You're going to sleep. Eventually. Oh. Yeah, I need to do that. There. I completely forgot about that I do need them making new clothes for the winter. Yep, that's it. Okay. Okay, but at the same time, though, I have no idea where those things are being made. Oh, no, it is in here. Okay. It's actually not that big. I will need to build new things. I have a new structure for both of those. Three, four, five, so it's 6 that way. I'm thinking it just extend it out. Come on. That does have that kind of roof. Alright. I would need to change the roof, basically. Um, No, that won't work. Oh, wait, no, 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 it will, it will. I can extend, once that's replaced, I can extend that over. And we take this down, then immediately go to services. Wait. Okay, yeah, that I thought. Oh, that's gonna piss off. Um. Okay. Because technically, I disabled the shrines themselves by doing that. Okay. There. Okay, so at least that is being worked on. Who are these three? Edita, Goda, and Lucy. Lucy is not brain turned off. Lucy's not on the schedule for right now, which is fine. You know, it is kind of funny. They ran over to do that stuff, but they're not running back to finish any. Let me do that temporarily, please. Which is like, I just want the roof done. So actually, hang on. Let's... Yeah. It's like, I actually want to... Like, I need this stuff done. This would be another one of those things where it's like, they really should allow you to prioritize this task, not the category. But no, I need this done now. See, I don't care about those walls. I care more about the roof here. Which does remind me of something years ago that I learned when I actually was visiting a house. It was a... why can't I think of... I cannot think of what the guy's name was. But he designed the house, and it's a very neat house, but it, like, is a century old. They needed to restore it. And there it it needed to be restored. And one of the tour guides basically asked the question, what do you start with when doing that? The answer is the roof. And the reason why is because the roof is what will prevent water damage. That, working on the roof can be the most important. It needs to be the first step in restoration. Because if you start, like, putting in new floors or something, but they get rained on, that ruins them. So you have to redo all that work. I guess one way we put it is the roof serves a safe, protective, there we go, that was a protective purpose. And so you need that to be good. So the idea of, no, you have to do the roof first, this is your task, do that, is exceedingly reasonable. Okay, now I think once this is up... Okay, yeah, so now I don't need to care. They can do it in whatever order. Because I have the buildings working. And yeah, I'm going to cancel both of these so I know that there's access to everything there. What's the research? Decorative structures, which I do not care about. How long have I been going? 45 minutes, that's fine. It's like, I really don't care. So I'll just leave that then. How's this looking? Hey, well, they're actually getting things done, so that's good. I'm just gonna let it hit the autosave. I will manually save as well, and then we'll stop it. And I also see that I got some. I said at the beginning of this video, this week has been pretty light on news, which is fine. But I got some more press releases in the email just now. That's interesting. That's not this one, maybe. Nope. Although this is, I can talk about this one here. Yeah, I'm gonna do the manual save though. Like, this is not one to write up. Wow. That, okay. I'm reading through the thing, but I will explain very shortly. This is just weird. So press release from Devolver Digital and Massive Monster, the publisher and developer respectively for The Call of the Lamb. Apparently at PAX Australia on October 13th, which is a Sunday, by the way, not a Friday, though it being a Friday wouldn't have surprised me in certain ways. Don't get me wrong, Call of the Lamb is a fun game. I did enjoy it. It was well made and all that. Yeah, let me actually look. I'm pretty sure, I think they got a 3. I don't think it got a 4. As far as strength of the recommendation. Yeah, I got a 3, which is just a solid, I recommend the game, because I did have fun. And that's I did have fun, didn't really have any significant complaints. It wasn't unfun and various things. Was fun. Unfortunately, I haven't played it since the review, because they have various updates that have changed things, and also my brain just turned off. They have been expansions that I don't think I have. But anyway, at PAX Australia on October 13th, there will actually be 2 couples getting married with the Lamb's blessing. It's going to be Cult of the Lamb weddings. And these are real people that they really... It might just be there were 2 people here that so loved the game, convinced their fiancés, let's get married this way, and they said, okay. Or it might be all 4 that just so love the game, they decided, yes, this is how we'll get married, and it is, especially this stating, it is legally binding. It is being recognized by the Victorian government. So, yeah, which I guess... It's just one of those funny things, but technically that might... It gets a little weird in some ways when you talk about marriage and weddings, because there is a component to it that is religious and a component that is legal. So this would certainly be legal, but I don't think you could consider it religious. It's just a themed wedding. But I don't think you can consider it religious, because the Call of the Lamb is fictitious. That's not a real religion. But anyway, I mean, it would be like a Star Wars themed wedding as well. But it still is that's kind of weird and wild. I mean, hey, good for them getting married. If this is how they're choosing to do it, great. It's just a little... So would a Star Wars wedding to me. Yeah, to be honest, I would also find that a little weird. Although, I mean, I'm just thinking, how would that work? I mean, I don't necessarily see it being a problem. Like, if it were just... Now, true, okay, it would be a little weird, but, because Groom wears black, if he would dressed like a Luke in Return of the Skywalker, which is all black. Could also be dressed as Han, that would make sense. But the classic New Hope Princess Leia for the wedding dress, which is more just a very basic gown, so to show the black and white there, I could see doing that. Or even have her done up like at the the medal ceremony at the end of A New Hope. With Fancy that I could see. Wait, that's honestly changing. It's a theme, but it's not really changing the wedding. I do wonder about this though. Is this like they're actually gonna also have the celebrant? Pretty sure that's the right term. Are they gonna be dressed up like the lambs? I do not know. I'm not really seeing it stated here, but it's. And it will even be in a non-ticketed area, so people can just come up and watch. Which, I mean, in some ways is cool. You know, just an aspect of the marriage ceremony is celebration, so allowing many people there makes sense, but it still is. This is kind of wild. And there is a part of me that does wonder. Oh, and it's also, the activity will be titled Unholy Matrimony, a Cult of the Lamb Wedding. I mean, it's like, seriously? I mean, it's like, because that is part of it. I'm saying Unholy Matrimony. The Cult of the Lamb is kind of demonic in some ways, so this is weird. It does make me wonder a little bit. I am jumping. I haven't just read through the whole press release because I got it while recording. Yeah, I mean, I do kind of wonder if the couples are also getting some sort of compensation out of this, which could even just be that everything is being done free for them, that they're not having to pay for any of the marriage, because there is money there. You do have to pay for that. There's plenty of stuff there that you have to pay for. So it could even just be that. But I don't know. I don't know. I just. Good for them getting married. It's just a little of all the ways you could have a themed wedding, Cult of the Lamb would never make that list for me, because, as I said, there are aspects of that are intentionally demonic. Like, that was part of the idea to the game. All right, I mean, it's like we're not. I'm not insulting the game. That is legitimately part of what's going on, because you do sacrifices of your followers. I mean, it's like, this is not a good thing. Yeah, it's like I can see Star Wars, I can see Star Trek. I mean, especially since in Star Trek there are episodes. Yeah, actually, not count. I don't know if Enterprise did it ever have one, but the original series, TNG, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager all had weddings in them. So you've got at least 4 wedding ceremonies depicted in that universe. There's a human marriage in the original series. That's crap, it's the one with the Romulans. How am I not remembering its name? Like, I really, really should, because it's such a good episode too. Balance of Terror. Is that it? I think that's it. Let me. Oh, no, not that one. Yes. Yes. Balance of Terror. Because it actually starts with the wedding that gets interrupted by the report of the Romulan attacks. In TNG, it's another human wedding, but it does actually succeed. It does complete. That's O'Brien and Keiko. Miles O'Brien and Keiko. In Deep Space Nine, you have the Klingon wedding. So that's Dax and Worf. And then in Voyager, you have Paris and B'Elanna Torres. I don't remember much about that. Oh, wait, no. I take that back. No. That one was weird, because their wedding, like, this. The timeline of that was weird, because it was like they got married. There was also an episode where it's like they finally decided to get married, and then that episode ended with them like going on their honeymoon in the Delta Flyer that at the time didn't have a warp drive because it had been damaged or something. And it's like, but then it was a later episode where they got married. But I think there was also that episode where, by the way, I have not seen Voyager for a very long time. I'm going by memory. Okay, it's just, so I could have this one, but I want to say the episode where the silver blood thing is back, and it's like there was that episode where it's mimicking them, mimicking the crew. They actually allowed this to happen, which was kind of dumb, but they allowed it to happen so that the silver blood was were people. That's what they wanted. But they then mimicked the entire ship, forgot that they weren't the real crew, went off trying to get back to Earth. And I want to say that fake Voyager actually had the marriage between Paris and Torres, like, as part of it, and that was like it opened with that, like, and that happened, and then you started to just find out that this all was fake. I think there may have even been something at the wedding itself that failed, that was wrong. It was because everything was fake. So yeah, you do have different weddings there, and it's like, I mean, I could see some Star Trek themed weddings based on that. But it's also, and this, I'll try to stop here because I could go on about Star Trek. There's one thing, the Klingon wedding there for Worf and Dax, Jadzia Dax, when you actually stop and think about what is going on with the ceremony, it makes no sense. It really makes no sense. Because part of it, the Klingon wedding ceremony includes you're reciting, and also there's a little bit of play acting, for the Klingon creation myth, okay? Because according to the Klingon mythology, the Klingon religion, but it can't be a religion, and I'll get to that, the Klingon gods made the Klingon heart, and it was very strong, they were very proud of it, but over time it weakened, and they found the reason why. Well, they determined the reason why is because it was alone. Like, they asked the heart, why are you weakening? And it's because I'm alone. So they made another one that was actually, they even say, was stronger. And now, at first, when they were there, they fought, the two Klingon hearts fought each other. But then when they recognized that if they instead work together, if they instead join together, they will become so powerful that nothing can ever stop them. And so they do. And I think it even describes that just like the beating of the two hearts together is enough that it shakes the walls of the gods' homes to the point that it kills their gods. It kills their gods. And it's like, wait a minute. Let's stop and think about this. You have a religion that the creation myth is the death of your own gods. This is not really much of a religion, is it? I mean, like, it's just going to be a mythology because, just a story, a collection of stories, nothing more. Because you are already without any higher order to it. So it's like, it really doesn't make any sense that this is a Klingon religion. It's just mythology. It's just story. But then it's also weird because they have no gods. They're dead. But Kahless is described as being divine. It's like, there are no gods. How can he be divine? It's like, you're now making this up. But also, he's messianic. That he will return. And it's like, wait a minute. This doesn't make... You're making him into a god, but your whole religion is that you killed your own gods. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, it's... Sorry. The fake religions in Star Trek don't make much sense, because you've got that. You've got, technically, the Vulcan logic stuff. That is a religion. When you actually consider... Because of the level to which is also ritualized, the adherence by all of them, and I'm ignoring the stuff from Enterprise, by the way. I don't like what Enterprise did to the Vulcans. I really don't. But it's like, it is ritualized sufficiently and is so significant and important to them. It's like, yes, that is a religion, okay? Oh, but it's logic. It's like, no, it is a religion. It's a religion of logic, but it is still a religion. Just trying to think, what other religions do we have in there? I mean, there's the Bajoran religion, which is also kind of weird when you think about it, because it's like they have living artifacts from their gods. Like artifacts that you visit them and can cause an actual experience. It's not just you go and had a vision. It's like, no, you've gone and now you've traveled through time kind of thing. You can directly communicate with them. They're in the wormhole that's like not even a light year away. It's in your system. And it's like, it's very weird that it's like, it is a religion, but at the same time, it's like you have people that have doubts. It's like, they're right there. You can go and visit your gods right now. You can go and talk to them right now. You can go to the wormhole, or you can go to these things that they gave you that have no scientific explanation. I mean, it's like, it's really weird when you think about it, and kind of silly when you have people with doubt, when you have Bajorans with doubt there, and also some of the adversarial nature as well. Because something that they should have done in Deep Space Nine, I understand why they didn't. It would not have been easy to do on broadcast television. But with the discovery of the wormhole and the prophets in there, that spread, that became known. That was public knowledge. They should have had people, basically pilgrims, coming to Bajor and coming to the station, basically as they want to believe in this religion. They're going to convert to this religion because your gods are right there. They should have had that happen. I understand why they didn't. That's weird. That's complicated. Weird in that, how do you handle it? How do you explain that and show it in television effectively to not offend anyone, to do so with respect, but also depict some potential issues? Because this was shortly after Bajor, the Cardassians left Bajor, so it was a crippled world. Which, true, these pilgrims would bring with them wealth that would help a lot, but it's also such a population increase that's like, yeah, we're struggling to feed ourselves. Your money is great for helping us here, but you also are now additional mouths to feed. So it actually would have been a very interesting point of tension there. And, like, what would happen? It's like, would you see the Federation, who Bajor is not part of, but the Federation, they brokered the treaty with the Cardassians, so they do have an interest in the area, but not necessarily in the planet itself and in the people itself, aside from just humanitarian stuff. So would they then, because of pilgrims coming from the Federation, then could there have been pressure applied by the Bajorans on the Federation, be like, hey, can you help us out more? These are your citizens coming here. Can you help us with, getting our agriculture back up so that we're not all starving? That would have been very interesting, very fascinating. But they never did that in this series, and I understand why. There's the whole, it's going to be difficult to do that respectfully within the show, and also for viewers, because there would be some viewers that seeing that could, depending on how it's done, could be offended by seeing so much religion there when they're expecting sci-fi out of Star Trek. And there is also Roddenberry, at least supposedly, he did believe, it's very intentional that in the original series, certainly, but also in TNG, because he had a hand in that. I don't know how much his hand was on Deep Space Nine, that there was not much religion. Because he basically felt that the Federation should be a utopia, and that when humanity reaches that level, reaches utopia, religion will cease to exist. That it only serves when there is need. Once there's no longer need, that religion falls away, which I don't believe that to be true. I will say that. But it is, I can potentially see that also being a reason why for Deep Space Nine, what the scenario I just described, the story I just described, they would not do that. I can understand that, because it would be not necessarily a betrayal of the original thoughts for Roddenberry, but it would be inconsistent with them, I think is a way to put it. Whereas just having this is just the Bajoran religion and it's left at that, wouldn't be a problem. Because, as I said, the Vulcans, the whole logic stuff, that is a religion. And that would have been under, some of that development would definitely have been under him. Because, just part of the opening to the motion picture, which he certainly was involved with, has Spock going through, I can't remember the name of it, but a ritual to purge himself of all emotions. And this is a religious ritual. It is a religious rite, even a religious sacrament potentially. So it's like that's important there. And then also with Search for Spock, it is kind of a religious ceremony. The bring back together Pon farr in the episode Amok Time. That's also, well, no, not the Pon farr. The Pon farr is basically just the puberty. Crap, I can't remember what the name of the ritual itself is, because I don't think it. I just don't remember what the name of the ritual is. But that again, it is very ritual. It's very much a ritual, very much tradition. It is religious. So there is religious moments like that in Vulcan religion, Vulcan stuff even then. But yeah, anyway, I should probably stop talking and let this stop. But like I said, I can just on Star Trek, I can just go because I have such a love for Star Trek. Even I'm talking about these things where it's like, yeah, they should have done this. Yeah, this doesn't make sense. But it still is, it's like, yeah, those are imperfections, but I can still love something with imperfections. Part of what makes it so enjoyable to love some things. Anyway, I got nothing more. Hopefully next week we'll have some more interesting news to share. I did purchase Since the Solar Empire 2. I don't think I will. I want that to be on my time, not a stream thing. I also haven't had much time to put in there. So yeah, that'll hopefully be fun for me. But yeah, see you next time.